Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. I'm your host, JR, and we're going to be talking about the speculation surrounding Jim Knowles, the Ohio State defensive coordinator. I apologize, the Ohio State national championship defensive coordinator, and his potential to no longer be with Ohio State because there has been some sparked debate across college football circles. This will be my second video on this topic because we've gotten some significant updates that I don't think I can wait to address on the next live. I mean, our next live is Sunday night, and who knows, there could be a decision made by then. So, because a decision could be made by then, I want to get into it. So, if you want in depth analysis and explanations about the most prominent Big Ten stories like this one, like other ones, you want to make sure you like and subscribe. Also, hit the bell for notifications whenever we go live, stuff like that. We do football and basketball. Check it all out. Now, let's get into this stuff of Jim Knowles. With ties to Oklahoma and Penn State emerging, things are beginning to get more serious, and it's worth exploring the factors that are influencing Jim Knowles and his decision. Also get into my prediction, talk about some of that stuff, and what each program has to offer him. I'm going to do my best to try and dissect the situation thoroughly, remaining unbiased toward Ohio State and Penn State, and yes, you too, Oklahoma. I know that you all felt like I was very biased against you last time, so I'm going to do a better job of trying not to be biased. You got very upset in my last video. I get it. So let's look at the big picture overall. Jim Knowles has become a very highly sought after figure in college football after helping lead Ohio State to a national championship with the nation's top defensive unit. I mean, who wouldn't want the top defensive coordinator with the top defensive unit? His ability to construct elite defenses has drawn interest from primarily Oklahoma and Penn State. There could be others out there, but these are the ones we're hearing them about the most, both seeking to elevate their defensive capabilities. While Oklahoma seems to be more driven by the personal ties for Jim Knowles, Penn State offers a compelling case for making more money, having more financial, maybe not resources, but making more money and returning to his home state as well. Meanwhile, Ohio State aims to retain Jim Knowles by matching any financial offer and capitalize on their recent success. Oklahoma's interest in Jim Knowles is no secret at all. Reports suggest that the Sooners are willing to offer up to $3 million annually for him. He was one of the very first names that was mentioned at the beginning, and this would be a significant raise for Jim Knowles, who made $2.2 million in salary at Ohio State. Additionally, though, the presence of Knowles' new fiancee in Oklahoma adds to the personal dimension of this story as well, to this equation that she's rumored to also have a child and not want to leave the state. So there's an opportunity for him to work someplace near her in the same state. It might work out. However, Oklahoma's football program currently lacks the competitive allure of Ohio State and Penn State. Don't think I'm being mean when I say that. That's just what it is. Despite their storied history, and they do have a storied history, they're a blue blood. The Sooners struggled on offense this last year, and although the defense was good, they were put into some just downright terrible situations at times that really influenced the stats. They barely managed to win 6 games this season, and facing uncertainty regarding their head coach Brent Venables' future in his coming season does not go well. While Venables is highly regarded as a defensive mind, and him finally leaving Clemson to go someplace else, Oklahoma's instability and inconsistent results raise questions about the long-term trajectory of Venables at Oklahoma. It's fair to argue that Oklahoma's potential hinges on promises rather than proven success, making them a less attractive option, a less attractive destination for Knowles if his primary focus is to continue to compete for championships right away wherever he gets his new job. But Knowles is such a proven assistant that he might be in line for the head coaching job, or even given the influence on who the next head coach at Oklahoma might be if they do decide to move on from Brent Venables. Penn State, on the other hand, presents a different narrative. We'll probably say, fresh off a deep run in the college football playoffs to the semifinals. The Nittany Lions are positioned as one of the top preseason favorites for the 2025 National Championship. Head coach James Franklin, he has built a consistent program, double-digit wins the majority of the time he's there, building Penn State up from a tough situation. He's been blending elite recruits with competitive results ever since he's been there. Their issue has been getting over that final hump, something that Knowles can understand, as he just did the same thing with Ryan Day this past year at Ohio State. Now, he didn't get over every single hump, as they still lost to Michigan, but they were able to get over that hump of not winning the big one. Penn State's willingness to offer a package worth $3.2 million annually demonstrates their seriousness in pursuing Knowles. That was a number that was put out there by Football Scoop late Thursday night. For Knowles, Penn State offers an opportunity to maintain his position within a high caliber program while potentially enjoying greater autonomy than maybe he had before. Unlike Ohio State, where tensions between staff have been speculated to say. More on that later. We'll talk about that. But Penn State could provide a fresh start with fewer interpersonal challenges, I guess you could say. Moreover, joining Penn State would keep Knowles in the Big Ten, a place that he knows well, a place that obviously he's coached at very well, and in a conference that has grown to know well over the past few years. Ohio State's position in this situation cannot be overlooked, though. This is not a situation where Ohio State will just let Jim Knowles go willingly. As the reigning national champion, the Buckeyes have cemented themselves as one of the premier programs in all of college football. Not like they weren't already considered that, but national championship definitely helps add to that. Under head coach Ryan Day, Ohio State has consistently been a contender for the college football playoffs and a destination for top talent. Not just top talent players, but also top talent coaches, recruiters, everything along those lines. Knowles' contributions to the Buckeyes' defensive resurgence are undeniable. The team was a top-ranked defense in total yards, scoring, and yards per play. It is a testament to his expertise, his willingness to work with other coaches, and also modify his defense to the players that he has. Ohio State's confidence in retaining Knowles lies in their ability to match or exceed financial offers from competitors while providing him with the resources and the talent needed to remain at the pinnacle of college football. Ohio State has a lot of players leaving. Caleb Downs, the only for sure player staying. But with that said, whispers of friction between Knowles and the other staff members on the defensive side of the ball, including head coach Ryan Day, could play a role in his decision. Now, I want to be clear. These claims remain completely speculative, but they do not come out of nowhere. For some time, it was rumored that Day was allowing the longtime defensive line coach and Larry Johnson kind of have his way with how the defensive line would operate, and then Jim Knowles would need to work off of that. And he would primarily need to adjust to Larry more so than Larry adjusting to Jim Knowles. This would obviously be difficult to do, especially as somebody who has been referred to as the head coach of the defense, as Ryan Day has put it before. But it appears those issues were resolved this past year after Ohio State lost in that Oregon game. Nick Saban came out and said that the defensive line pass rush was antiquated, but Patrick Murphy of the Bucknuts confirmed that it was a talking point amongst the media at the national championship game that Jim Knowles might not have cleared up every single personal relationship at Ohio State, and maybe not even with Ryan Day. If those tensions are real, they could drive Knowles to consider a fresh start somewhere else, whether it's Penn State or Oklahoma. If we look at the key factors of Knowles' decisions, there's really three key factors. They are financially, professionally, and personally. Oklahoma and Penn State are offering competitive salaries. Penn State, obviously, the most competitive $3.2 million package. If you consider the buyout, that goes up to $4.4 million just for the first year, which would make him the highest paid coach, assistant coach. And Ohio State is prepared to match or exceed those offers, ensuring finances alone won't dictate this decision. Ohio State and Penn State provide realistic opportunities to compete for the national championship in 2025. Possibly he could get there under Oklahoma someday, but it doesn't look like that would happen right off the bat. But Oklahoma's recent struggles make them what seems to be a little less appealing destination for a coordinator, but could offer him the opportunity to be could offer him the opportunity to be the head coach or have the say in who is the next head coach for Oklahoma. If things do not go well. There's also the rumor that Knowles' fiance resides in Oklahoma, as I mentioned earlier, and it's creating a significant personal pull. However, relocating his fiance to Columbus or Pennsylvania would definitely be financially feasible if you're getting paid 3.2 or more million dollars, given how many earnings he's had. That could impact the speculated tension between Ohio State's staff. This could be the idea of a fresh start for Ohio State or for Penn State and Oklahoma. It could make that appealing, especially if he has a supportive family in Norman or in Pennsylvania, where his home state is. Penn State's stability and stable environment under James Franklin may be particularly attractive due to his proximity to his home state and possibly having family closer around him and being in the state where he grew up in. But staying at Ohio State allows Knowles to solidify his legacy as the architect of one of college football's most dominant defenses, quite frankly, we have ever seen. However, Penn State could provide an opportunity to elevate another Big Ten program into the powerhouse that Ohio State is, which, not to say Penn State isn't already a powerhouse, but which would only increase his fame for how he could create a championship caliber defense at back to back programs in back to back years at different schools. All that to say, here's my opinion on the matter. The likely outcome is this. While Oklahoma's financial offer seems to be competitive, $3 million seems to be about what they're offering, and the personal connections hold weight. I think their lack of competitive relevancy compared to Ohio State and Penn State diminishes their appeal. Knowles would face the challenge of a team who is rebuilding at least their offense at this point with no guarantee of immediate success, all while navigating a program that could be in flux at the end of the year. It might be different if Knowles had head coaching aspirations, but if I remember back in 2022 when he was hired, one of the reasons they hired Knowles was because he did not have those head coaching aspirations. Penn State has emerged as one of the more plausible alternatives to Ohio State, especially with the $3.2 million they're rumored to be offering. With that upward trajectory, stable leadership, and financial commitment, the Nittany Lions provide, quite frankly, just an enticing blend of professional and personal opportunities that could be very attractive to Jim Knowles. However, the allure of remaining at Ohio State with his championship foundation and unmatched resources, really giving him whatever they want, may ultimately outweigh everything else. And the appeal of a new challenge, not to mention Knowles has been heralded for what he's been able to do with Caleb Downs on the defense, playing him closer to the box, but also playing him further back. Last year was a spectacular, and he is the type of player coaches would love to coach. In the end, Jim Knowles' decision will hinge on his priorities. If he values championships and continuing to build what he's currently building and legacy, then Ohio State and Penn State are probably the immediate opportunities for those things. And Ohio State probably more so with the opportunity to continue what he's building. But if personal incentives take precedence, Oklahoma remains in the mix, albeit it's a long shot for me. Seems like something you don't want to be your main reason to go there. But Jim Knowles' future remains uncertain. But one thing for this is clear. He holds the power to shape the next chapter of his career. And regardless of where he is next year, he will be making a lot of money. Jim Knowles has executed this rumor mill perfectly, and he is for sure going to get paid handsomely. And as fans, as analysts await for the choice, I got to be honest, he might not be the last coordinator that Ohio State has to fight and try to keep this offseason. I'll just leave it at that. Don't want to get too much into that. Look for another video later on. That's why you like and subscribe. That's why you hit the bell notification. And join me and Zach on our live shows at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays and Tuesdays as we talk all things Big Ten, coaches, rankings, ratings, opinions, all those different kinds of things. So check us out. We'd love to see you over there, and we appreciate you watching this video of the Big Ten Huddle.